Hi, I'm Andy Camp, president of Cutler Real Estate, and I'm here with TJ House. Good afternoon, TJ. How are you?
I'm doing great. Excited to be here.
The first question I have is, how did you know when you were born with the name TJ House that you were going to become a realtor?
I think my parents just did it as a little funny joke, but obviously this wasn't my first step in my career. I had a past where I played professional baseball for 12 years, and after I retired, I kind of just didn't know what path I really wanted to take. And luckily for me, Melissa Bruno, who is our manager here, decided to come over and pay us a visit just randomly, and we got to kind of conversating about what the next step in my life was going to be. And here we are, 3 years later.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you were a professional baseball player. What position did you play?
I was a left-handed starter.
Okay.
I did pitch out the bullpen for a little bit towards the end of my career, but mostly I remained in the starting position.
So did you play here in Cleveland?
I did. So my career started in 2008 professionally. I was drafted in the 16th round by Cleveland. I played all over Ohio, Lake County, Akron, Columbus, and I was fortunate enough to make my major league debut on May 17th of 2014. I spent a total of almost 3 years here in Cleveland, spent a year in Toronto, and a year with the Chicago White Sox. And then obviously COVID hit and kind of disrupted everyone's life. And that's what kind of led me to a change.
So are you originally from Ohio?
I am not. I was born and raised in Louisiana. Spent 18 years of my life there. Once I got drafted and signed, Ohio technically became my second home.
That's fantastic. So once you retired, then you decided to figure out what's next for you and decided to take that next step here in Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, so I officially, moved here in 2015, purchased my house in 2017. And then kind of when I was going through the retirement process, I actually was debating about going back to school and getting a degree. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I figured that kind of would have been the best route. Then I realized that graduating at 38 or 39 and starting entry level just might not be my cup of tea. And so again, kind of had a brief conversation with Melissa, and then we sat down and really kind of discussed my options and what I wanted for myself in my next career. And a lot of the things that we discussed, I realized that baseball and real estate, I could transition those things that I was really good at and the qualities of those things that I've learned that would really assist me into this next career.
So what's something that you felt you could transfer from baseball into real estate to make this transition successful?
One of the things that I will compare them to, and I think that, they're right on point with, is that, there's a lot of just things that you cannot control that happen very quickly. And your ability to navigate that, moving and adjusting right on the spot, almost winging it, right? But also staying calm, cool, and collected, and being able to think about it while you're making those decisions and not letting it rattle you. I think that's a great comparison because there's things that we can't control, but we can always have backup plans or contingencies in place that make sure that we can still have success when those situations arise.
What was a challenge that you faced in transition from professional athlete to entrepreneur and realtor?
I think the biggest thing is just learning how to navigate and put yourself back into what I consider the real world. We live in such a different environment when you're playing. Whether it's, we work at night, right? We get to sleep in a little bit longer because we stay up later. It's a little bit easier to control your surroundings when you're in baseball because they put you in almost a bubble. When you get into the, entrepreneurship, there is really no one there to give you that bubble, right? You've got to learn to create those boundaries and create that system that provides that success. And so again, they have the system already in place. You just kind of follow along that system and it guides you. Here, it's like, what can I do to put myself in a position not only to grow my business, but remain successful for the long term?
So TJ, you transitioned from professional athlete to realtor in the middle of a pandemic. Tell me about that transition and that experience.
It was really difficult coming into a position where we had never been in the position of the housing market, where things were almost in essence kind of crazy. Multiple offers in terms of 20 or 30 on properties, and trying to navigate your clients through that without having, in essence, any experience in the past. But I do believe that, diamonds are forged under pressure, and having the ability to learn during that time has only created an opportunity for me to be a better advisor in the future.
So tell me about some of the ways that you advised your clients without having that real estate experience in an environment that we've never experienced before.
I think it goes on to surrounding yourself with individuals who are knowledgeable and reliable, and really leaning on them for the guidance. Obviously, going through it and learning is not just enough. I believe that I had a wonderful group set around me, including Melissa and other coworkers of mine, who were not only just wonderful on letting me call them whenever I needed them,
right,
but they actually picked up the phone, and they were more than willing to give me any knowledge or information that they had. And it really did help me, move forward and assist my clients in a good way.
So what do you think, besides having a name as a Cleveland athlete, what do you think sets you apart from some of the other realtors that have gotten their start in the middle of COVID?
I think my unwillingness to quit and just go after it. I did something where we did the same thing every day. Most of the time we were unsuccessful, but you hit
That's
300, you fail 7 out of 10 times,
yeah,
but you keep going after it because the drive and the determination and the willingness to be the best at what you do is what's there. So I think that the unwillingness to quit, the unwillingness to not stop learning, doing whatever I can to set myself apart in the situation, communication skills, negotiation skills, just being just a good realtor and human by listening to these clients and understanding their struggles and what they're going through and trying to help them navigate that also.
So you got through the 3 years of a pandemic. You successfully transitioned from professional athlete to realtor. So what are your goals, and where do you see yourself taking your business?
Obviously I'm not satisfied with kind of where I am, and I think I'm never going to be satisfied, but I definitely want to continue to expand and grow. I want to be the person that when someone thinks about downtown Cleveland, Tremont, Gordon Square, Ohio City, Duck Island, they think about me. They want to use me. Not only do they want to use me because I played baseball, but they want to use me because I'm knowledgeable, I'm trustworthy, and I'm good at my job. And they enjoy having these transactions with me and interacting with me.
So your goal to be so focused in such a tight-knit geographic area in the urban core of Cleveland, what are some of the ways that you've transitioned your community engagement from being a professional athlete to, how you're staying connected to the community today?
Yeah, I think it's important to get out there and meet the people that these communities are made of, whether they're hosting charity events or they're organizing benefits for individuals in certain, geographical areas, getting out there and just becoming involved, letting them know who you are, showing your face, and helping them, whether it's real estate or not. If they need an extra hand during a charity event and they need you to go out there and pass out flyers or greet people, being involved on boards and getting involved in what the city's doing, knowing what's happening in your community. What are the things they're trying to build here? What are they trying to do to these areas? So again, I think you have to be immersed in the environment for you to be successful in that environment.
So what do you see as the most exciting thing happening in Cleveland right now?
I believe, looking just at statistics alone, we are having a high influx of young, educated millennials moving to our area. I believe that COVID has changed the way we view and work and live life. And I think people are realizing that, they lived in New York or they lived in LA, a lot of my friends, and they're realizing that they're fully remote, but they can live a better quality of life here because we are not as costly and you can afford just more here. And they're realizing that Ohio is a wonderful place to be. One, we don't have any natural disasters. We don't have any wild animals out there trying to take us out. And we live in just a very sustainable economy. If we look overall through the last 30 years, recession-based, we're pretty recession-proof overall.
Yeah.
We stay pretty steady. And I think that, having that comfort and knowing that what you're investing in is going to be safe, it's nice.
Yeah, I've joked for a long time that our state motto should be safe, boring, and cheap with plenty of fresh water.
And it's wonderful.
So if you had one piece of advice to somebody getting started today, or one mistake to avoid or something to do, focus on or do differently, what would your advice be to somebody that's considering getting started in real estate today?
You are going to fail and you're going to make mistakes. I think owning up to that and acknowledging it and learning from it is the only way you're going to get through it. We're not perfect, but we can strive to be. I would say don't give up. It's going to be very difficult. There are going to be moments where you feel, am I doing the right thing? It's very hard creating your own business. The only people that are caring about your business in essence is yourself because you're responsible for it. And so I think being diligent, fighting through the bad times, knowing that there is good things coming, and being resilient. And you've got to keep working. You take off that one day that other realtor is not taking off, and so you've got to realize that you have to be the go-getter.
So last question.
Sure.
How are the Guardians going to do this year?
Honestly, I think they're going to win the division, and I think they're just built differently than the rest of the teams. They're built off speed, defense. They do not strike out, and they have a wonderful pitching staff. So I hope they go out and win a World Series. I root for them. I watch every game, and I'm excited to get out there and watch a few in person.
Well, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to much more success ahead of you, and thank you for being part of Cutler Real Estate.
No, thank you for allowing me to do this. I appreciate it.